Hello everyone, I'm Jack. This is a video for teaching you how to essentially start building your business, starting with your first client. So let's just break this down for a second. To build an online business means getting your first client or having a massive audience where you can just sell something for like $9, but you have a million subscribers. So you don't really have to do any sort of extra marketing because they'll buy your $9. This is about getting a high ticket client. Okay, because if you can work with like 4 or 5 clients, but they're paying you $1 or $2,000, then you can more attain, be closer to attaining actual financial freedom through online business. The only way you can make a valuable offer that somebody would actually pay for is by talking to people. I spent over a year trying to set up an offer without actually trying to understand people's problems. So, I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps as to how to actually clarify your offer and then book calls with people. Because as soon as you have your offer and you go on like 30 calls, then they'll be like, yes, I would love to pay you for this thing because you're literally solving my pain point. Like, think about all the money you've spent in the past few weeks. Maybe you bought a beverage you really like or some sort of program that's just like this really desirable outcome. Of course you want to pay for that. Of course you want to pay for that shirt at TJ Maxx. It's like solving some problem. So this is what you can provide for people. And then they will be like, yes, let me give you my money. So let's set this up. I'm just going to show you what the basic outline looks like. And again, there are many different approaches. I'm just showing you the basic roadmap when it comes to using Skool. So this is using the platform Skool, which is really centered about connection. So you do have to watch this video with a little bit of open-mindedness because we're very programmed to think that it's all about volume. How many people can I cold call? How many people can I DM? But this is much more centered around connection and quality. So I'll show you what I mean. So right now you're here, okay? You maybe don't have a very clear offer, you don't have clients, and you're feeling frustrated and you're broke, but you know you're interested in online business. You know that you have specific superpowers. Maybe you're just a really good mentor, or you love teaching, or you're really artistic. So to get to the ideal reality in which you have purpose, you have clients, and you have financial freedom, there are just a few steps. So let's just break this down from a high level, because once you see the overall roadmap, you can focus on like the priority task in front of you. And usually, no matter what step you are on in this process, there are usually only 1 or 2 priority steps to actually focus on. First, you have a network. Now, many people on this step don't actually even need to focus on building out their network that much. You might be able to start with a network of people you already know. So you can look through an audience you might already have on Instagram or something like that. Or you go on Skool and you start engaging with people and you start booking calls with people. And don't underestimate the power of going on networking calls with just one person at a time. Because, for example, I just went on a networking call with one individual. And from this one person, I wanted to make a post because this guy was so valuable in all the information he shared with me. So I made a post to a big community with over 30,000 members. And that, because he went on one call with me, he's getting exponential reach. Like, that is thousands in marketing money. And if you go on like 5 of these, you will not believe how much exponential growth you can start to acquire basically with new leads, new connections, and not just people who want to pay you, but people who want to collaborate with you or just give you good word of mouth. So now that you're starting to build a network, one by one you start to connect in DMs with these people. And that's where you can start to book calls. So this is not a salesy process. This is a process where you start to understand people. A research call is a call where you're like, hey, I see that we're in a similar community on Skool. I'm interested in what you're building and I would love to understand like where your roadblock is in what you're building. So you do a research call where basically you go on Skool. I would say start with one community so that you don't overwhelm yourself, because if you go on Skool and you start discovering communities, there's so many, and some are niche, some are really wide. And I recommend, if you're using the school approach, start with one community and focus on, does this community have a good size? Is this community active? And is this a community with my type of vibe? Like, check in with like what the community is like with the people. So if I choose this community, for example, like the main schoolers community, and then I just go into the comments, then I can just start engaging with people, because I can't go into direct messages until I've commented and maybe like broken the ice with someone. So just now, to record this video, I went into this comment section and saw this woman's comment under a comment section, and I just said, yeah, coffee hour calls are actually fun. No agenda, and you meet new schoolers. Welcome to school, by the way. So I just clicked on her profile and kind of learned a little bit about her, and then I made a personal comment. So it's funny because we're used to thinking like, oh, we have to cold call and it's all about numbers. But if you take a little bit of extra time, then you can make it more personal and jump into warmer connections. And now going on calls is like going into a warmer lead instead of just breaking the ice from nowhere, which is like all about a volume game. So this is much more about a quality game. So after sending that message, she would comment and reply a little bit, and then I would connect with her in DMs. And then from there, I would say, hey, by the way, how is it going with your school journey? Or like if I'm a fitness coach or something, I would say, hey, by the way, I'm doing some research about my fitness offer. And then you would book a research call. So a research call is literally a call where you get clarification on your offer. You don't have to pitch anything. So I used to struggle with this step a lot because I was scared of coming off too salesy, of coming off too strong. But if you don't have a clarified offer, then you can just book a research call. You can talk to people and say that I would like to clarify my offer and I would love to get some research with you. And I can show you guys how to run a research call. But basically, you go on a call with them and you say, hey, where are you with this particular, with health, or where are you with school? And you see what their current situation is. And then you ask them questions like, where do you want to be? What is your desired situation? And then finally, the third question that you ask is like, what is your biggest bottleneck? You essentially try to understand where they are, where they want to be, and what is getting in the way. And from there, you can finally ask them like, thank you, I see where your roadblock is. Obviously, you would probably want to resolve that. And this has you think, well, this is something I would want to make an offer around. And so you don't just do that with the first person and get a really specific offer, but you can do this with a few people. And after the research call, you can give them a free solution to see how you feel delivering it. So maybe from the research call, you start to feel, oh, maybe I can help this person achieve their goal by running them through like a 30-day timeline where I give them these 3 deliverables. I give them a program on fitness, or I give them an accountability weekly check-in, or I give them access to me. It has to be something where you know you can provide some value. And so it just comes down to like, what have you achieved that you can help this person with? And maybe you don't even have any value to specifically give them a solution, but that's okay because you're still getting market research. So you do this, and if you do this for the people that you vibe with, then you can start to do case studies, which means, okay, you've learned where their bottleneck is. Now you're going to practice with them, and they don't even have to pay you, but you could get testimonials. So then you get testimonials and you get clarity on your offer, because as you work with like 3 to 4 to 5 people, then you start to see like, oh, I can start resolving these nuances for people, how to help people lose weight, or how to help people destroy their limitations when it comes to school or to business. And that's how you clarify your offer. You can only do it because you've gone on calls with enough people to understand the common bottleneck that is showing up, and by delivering a solution for that bottleneck. That is how you clarify your offer. And you can even charge as you clarify your offer. You can say, hey, I'm figuring this out, but you still need to pay me $99 because I am going to put a lot of time into this. And I do want you to be committed to this so that we can get you results. So you can even charge when you're doing your 3 to 5 case studies. And then you clarify your offer. And at that point, you've done the research, you've done the practice, and now you have a repeatable offer that you can start to offer people. So that's when you start doing sales calls. That is when you just continue this process where you connect in DMs, you book a call, and then when it gets to the point where they explain their bottleneck, you tell them, well, I'd be happy to go on another call with you because I have something that I think would really help. And if you guys want to go into another video where we talk about how to do a sales call, we can do that. But this is basically the roadmap, because from there you can book your high ticket client. Because think about it, you've learned what the bottleneck is for a set of people, and you've literally said, hey, I understand your problem, I can solve it. And you've done it for free or for a low price so that you've gotten experience with actually delivering it and with proving that it's actually valuable. So at that point, you have something that you can start bringing to people and showing them that you can help their problem. And then you book research calls, and you can start doing 2 call closes, because your first call is to just understand their biggest pain point. Your second call is to actually give them the product that you are serving. Maybe it's a service, maybe it's a coaching. And then it's just a matter of doing sales calls, which is repeating the network and conversion process. And again, we can go more in depth on the sales call part, but this is the high level overview of what that process looks like. And once you're doing sales calls with a clarified offer, you can book a high ticket client, and then you just repeat the sales calls. So this is the system. Okay, if you have something valuable and you have a system to attract and convert leads, then you can make money. So anyways, I hope that's helpful, guys. If you want to go more in depth on how to handle a research call, or how to actually engage with these people on the call, or do a sales call or anything like that, I'm happy to go into those subjects. Again, this is the approach that it looks like on Skool, which is really oriented around one-to-one connection. So this is much less about a volume game, but it's much more a game of learning what the pain point is of people that you vibe with, and then actually delivering them value and connecting on a one-on-one basis. Because I think a lot of people underestimate what can start happening with just 10 people. If you know 10 people, it's not even a matter of trying to get more people. You can start converting if you know 10 people. So yes, it helps to have a big audience, but a lot of people overlook the fact that you can start converting by delivering valuable solutions to pain points with just a small set of people, because it's one person at a time. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to go into more, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.